Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon, all students. Today we will cover the chapter 6, uh, risk management. So we already in week 6, yeah, week 6, and next week I think it's week 7. Uh, I don't know whether this semester we got the semester break or not. I plan that in week 7 or week 8, we will do the midterm examination. Yeah. The midterm examination will cover from chapter 1 until chapter 6 or chapter 7. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, be ready on the midterm examination. We will conduct the online examination, which is the type of question is true and false, and also the multi-choice question. Yeah. Anyway, we continue the chapter 6 on risk management. So we will cover overview the risk, type of risk, managing risk, hazard identification, factor that could produce the risk value, how to get the risk value, risk planning and control. So as an introduction, risk is an unexpected event causes problem, and a risk a measure of probability and consequence of not achieving a defined project goal, and risk is a combination of an abnormal event and its consequences to a system operator, user, or environment. So I just read first the introduction, then I will explain. So project risks include cost, wrong requirements, schedule, contract relationship, political, technical, test, logistic, development, and engineering risk. So risks also range from loss of the entire system, is very catastrophic, and loss of life or permanent disability to negligible, means that no system damage or no injury. So risk increase with hazard but decrease with safeguard. So why we need risk management? This is the first question that you need to answer, or uh, ask yourself, or ask your team, or ask especially the project manager. You as a project manager, when you manage a project, you need to manage the risk. So risk is the unexpected event. What does it mean, unexpected event? Something that happened without or beyond your knowledge or beyond your control sometimes. So, and sometimes the risk is happen in the middle of the project, or risk sometimes can be expected, and can be uh, what we call it, can be projected. Yeah. So let's say your system is very complex, and the the business process involved in the new system require new knowledge. Yeah. So of course you will expect the risk will be happen, especially uh, on the skill. Yeah. uh, Exist or skill on the human resource that you have currently. So you need to hire, or you need to have a good person, a good human resource or staff to have that knowledge for the system, for the new system to be developed. Okay. So risk can be happen anytime. Yeah. Whether you aware about it or you not realize of it. Yeah. Sometimes you hire a lot of female staff, and then you will got risk, yeah, because they will some of the female staff uh, married or just married, then after 9 months of course, or after 8 months of course, they will deliver a new baby, yeah, and they will it will affect your human resource or staffing, especially when they got long prolonged leave, yeah, at least 60 months, 60 days, sorry. Now is 3 months, 90 days. Then you need to get the replacement. Okay. Another unexpected event. Some of your staff maybe will resign. Yeah, when they got a uh, good offer from other company, so they will resign from your company. Then you will lose maybe a good staff. Yeah, so this is another risk. So sometimes risk come from the political environment, especially in Malaysia. Uh, the unstable politic, it happened last year, this year, yeah. So maybe the certain project will be terminated, or to be delayed, to be suspended due to new ministry, or new governments. So some of the project which is not important for them, then they will stop it. So another risk in managing the software project is a technology risk. Yeah, you decided that you will use the new technology, for example, IoT, that involve a lot of sensor, and this technology is a new technology, so you need a lot of expertise. eh? This is happen when you start your project in the middle, uh, especially if you use the new language, but all the staff need to learn it. So if you knew with the new language, so a lot of things that you are not expected will be happen. Yeah, so you need to learn a lot of things, because to ex to expert in certain language, it will take time. It will take time, and you need to uh, gone through the process of software development life cycle, and you at least 1 year familiar with the language. If you 6 months or 3 months experience in certain language, I don't expect that you will expert in subject. Yeah? It will take time. So another risk that I told already on the logistic. Yeah. So when you run the project, so you deal with the vendor, uh, and you need to acquire a server, for example, or you need to acquire a very good landline, yeah, to install your application. So if the vendor fail to deliver, so this is a risk. Sometimes you cannot control, because it's a third party. So they will serve you. So if they cannot serve you on time, for example, deliver the 1,000 PC across the country. So if the PC or server is not implemented, or uh, not in the data center, yeah, they're still not installed. So the system cannot run. So you will get angry from the user. Yeah? So I already told about the political. Technical is about technology. Yeah. So you need to manage carefully, and you need to choose the right language or technology to be used in your project. So don't follow the trend. Yeah. So you need to balance between trend and evergreen. Evergreen means all those another 20 years, so the thing can be used. Yeah. It's already uh, it's always required. Yeah. A trend, maybe 1 or 2 years, then the software is no longer required. Okay, there are many risk type. One is an external risk. It's outside of your control. Like I said, political, natural disaster. Now is COVID-19. This is an external risk, which bring the economy down. Yeah, the office business close, and then it will affect the return of each of the business, each of the company. Yeah. So this is a external risk that we cannot control and we cannot predict actually. So another risk is a cost risk. Deal with cost overrun, unnecessary cost due to poor estimation and poor control of budget. So another risk is a schedule risk, which is delay to deliver according to the agreed schedule. So that's why I told you for the last lab. So the schedule is very important to plan, design, and implement it. Yeah, schedule is very important because this is a contract between you and your vendor. So if you wrongly schedule, then you will got a bad image from the user. So that's why when you design the schedule or you develop the schedule of the project, so you must take into account a lot of things. Yeah, especially your human resource, the budget, the skill, yeah, and also the commitment from the user. Another risk is a technology risk. Like I said in introduction, due to immature technology integration and support. A lot of people say that why not use freeware of language or tools, or open source. So sometimes they are not think about the beyond the software implementation or application implementation. So after they develop the system, so and then they use the software, and who want to manage or maintain the software? If you want to get the support, yeah, help from the vendor, so no vendor. The open source is no vendor. So you have to go to the forum, yeah, open forum and so on. If they can answer, then you are lucky. If they don't, you cannot answer, so what you need to do? So this is very important to choose the technology correctly. Yeah. So technology risk can result from failure to meet system functionality or performance standard. This is very important. So when you risk the technology, so you must make sure that the system that you want to develop can be developed and can be realized with the chosen technology. Another risk is operational risk. So operational risks are characterized by an inability to implement large-scale change effectively. So when your system implemented, then there are a lot of maybe there are a lot of new requirement. Yeah. So the you sometimes the developer they cannot control the requirement and keep the software or application keep change, then it will affect the operational of the business, and also the current software that the developer develop. So once you change your software, you need to test all the part of the application or module. So if you fail to test all, then you will affect when one of the function or API cannot work. Yeah. So they will affect the operation. Another example of operational risk is a fail to design authority to key people and insufficient communication. So this is another things that very important during the operational of the application when you implement it. The communication, also the uh, user representative and developer representatives must work together and communicate accordingly. Otherwise, the user will throw the wrong perception about the software. If you fail to explain why sometimes this software cannot work and act like so unexpected character uh, from the original requirement. Okay. Uh, so how to manage the risk? First, you need to identify the risk, list all the potential problem and issue. Just list all the problem you think that may occur, and then you estimate the likelihood and impact of the risk is assessed. Yeah? Estimation means uh, you you project, or maybe human resource is very important. So you put the severity first. Yeah, high risk, or low risk, medium risk, and so on. So that uh, from the list of the issue or problem or risk, you can focus. So you eliminate your focus on overall, so you just zoom on the important things. Then after you identify, you list, you estimate the likelihood, and then you evaluate the risk. So rank it, determine appropriate version of strategies. So you rank it. Let's say, like I told you just now, let's say human resource turnover of staff is very high, severity. So you need to determine the appropriate action. So if the staff turnover is high, how you want to resolve? You hire the contract staff, which is got a good skill and so on. And then after you list, estimate, evaluate, you need to plan the risk, drawing up the contingency plan. Yeah. Uh, what need to do? If this risk, what need to do? What to? Uh, who is the responsibility? Yeah. How long can resolve the problem or issue? And then after you plan, you need to control. Control mean uh, you follow through, follow up or follow through the SDLC process. So this is very important. Uh, Very important task or job that need to be done by the project manager is control. Yeah? So if you can control or monitor the risk as frequent as you can, so you can manage the risk properly. And then risk directing and staffing. I mean, concerned with the day-to-day management of risk and the problem-solving strategies frequently involved. So directing means uh, some of the staff they got a very good experience regarding the project or regarding the problem. Yeah. So this is happen when you hire the staff, a new staff. This is very important question that you need to ask them, where they come from, where they come from, and where they got experience, working experience in which company, and ask them whether they face experience with the company problem and so on, project problem. So from that we can learn, from them, what is the problem happen in the project, normally happen in the project, and then we can learn from them how to manage it. So risk management, hazard identification. So hazard is an event that might occur and will, if it does occur, create a problem for the successful completion of the project. So how to recognize hazard? So you need to identify the hazard uh, that might affect the duration or resource cost of the project. Example, change request. So too many change will bring the hazard. So that means too many change, if you don't control it, it will affect your quality of the software. And then you need to determine by analyzing risk and the cost, such as its immediate effect to the employee and project. Example, change request will drag duration and increase cost. Yeah, this is for sure. Yeah, when the system keep change, and it will affect the duration, it will affect the cost. The more request, the more effort need to be done. So you need uh, time to incorporate the new requirement. Sometimes the new requirement will affect the design, so we need to alter the design. Yeah, this is very crucial work actually. And this have one research for manage the change in software development life cycle. So you need to evaluate, you need to record and review. Okay, factor that produce risk, application factor. The larger the project, the greater is the likelihood of errors. Uh, this is happen when you develop a big project. So there are a lot of team leader, and there are many team leader manage a certain module. For example, I give you one example. Let's say you develop financial accounting system. There are many big uh, module to be managed and developed. Yeah. One example is, let's say, general ledger. This is one module, a very important module for financial accounting system. Another one is account receivable. Yeah, account receivable means you do a billing, invoice, monitoring of the bill and so on. So this is another big module in financial accounting system. Very important because this is this system will monitor the sale. Yeah, so the company CEO very concerned about the sale. So no sales, no company, no business. Yeah. So another module that very important and very big is account payable. They call it. The module that manage the payment. So let's say you buy uh, you need to do a procurement something. You need to buy computer, hardware, software. So this is a section handle on the payment. Yeah. If you late pay to the vendor, sometimes you have you got penalty in terms of uh, interest also. So the more day that you late pay the payment, the more interest will be penalized. So uh, I just give you a three example, three module very important in financial accounting system. So we cannot give one team leader to manage all. So it's very big system. So we divide. these three module and distribute to three project leader. So let's say we don't have, or the company don't have a standard for develop a software. So three, maybe it will produce three standard, because the three leadership, they have their own style, they have their own methodology. Let's say the company don't have a standard methodology. So that's why it's very important that you create the standard and all of them follow the standard, and the all module will be follow the unit the unity of the standard, such as user interface, the color, the user experience, and so on. And design must be one. So another factor that produce the risk is a staff factor. The issue of staff like shortfall in experience, demotivate, resignation, or unavailability or absence of key personnel. So there are a lot of staff character when you dealing with the human. So 1001 type of character will be faced. Yeah. So another factor that produce the risk is a project factor. When the project and its objective are not clear to all members of the project team and all key stakeholders, so there will be imminent risk. Yeah. This is very important that as a project manager, as you manage the project, so you need uh, to come up with the software development plan, and this software development plan need to present to all team members, especially uh, your development team or your project team, and before you go to the user. Okay, this is another factor that can produce a risk: project method, hardware, software, chain over factors. Yeah. So this is about uh, the element that support the software project. So don't think that when you develop a software, it's not just a software that you use, Java, with PHP and so on. So there are a lot of elements that will attack you. Yeah? So especially the method that you use. If you don't have a standard methodology, then your project will be got haywire. Yeah? Hardware and software factors. So don't buy from the uh, unbranded of the software or hardware. Don't buy cap pisang uh, software or hardware. So you need to engage with the vendor, the right vendor. For example, the branded one, yeah, HP or Dell or Lenovo and so on. And when the problem happen, the software, the hardware will fail. Then you got a place where to report it and send back uh, the faulty hardware. Okay, supplier factor, environment factor, health and safety factor. This is relate to the COVID-19 health and safety factor. So if this happens, then all the staff need to be stay put in the house. So the communication become challenging, yeah? Not difficult. So because you need to online, and some of the staff you don't have a good internet connection. So there are a lot of things that need to be considered uh, when you work from home. Yeah, and then you have to make sure whether the staff is doing their job or not, compared to if all the staff in the office, so you can control it. Okay, so this is a challenge and factor that could produce the risk. So how to get the risk value? So risk value is risk likelihood multiply risk back. So I think this one you can read yourself. Risk planning and control. Of course, like human health, yeah. Uh, when you concern about your health, yeah, healthcare, so you need the healthcare services, yeah. So if you want to make sure that your body got healthy, so you need to eat a good or you need to take a very good complete dietary, yeah. So you should take vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin B, and vitamin D, for example, yeah. So this is a prevention. So the medical word always say that prevention is better than cure. So like a project, when you manage a project, so the prevention is very important. Yeah? When it happen, it's very late and the cost is high rather than prevent it. Like COVID-19, yeah. So in the wave one, yeah, we already nearly achieved the zero case on the pandemic of COVID-19. Nowadays, the number increased to 4 digit. Every day is 1,200, 1,300. Last yesterday, we got shocked that Kuala Lumpur got 400 plus case, a new case, and now the case is coming to the office. Yeah, the contact happened in the office. Last time we said that the contact is come from the foreigner or from the outside. But nowadays, the third wave or second wave of COVID-19 uh, is happened among the Malaysian. Yeah, so it's very difficult to control, very difficult to cure when it happens. So this is a plan and control how to ensure that your project can be not to say that zero risk, at least uh, you resolve or you eliminate the risk 70% or 60%, yeah, from occurred. Uh, so this is also another risk planning and control, risk transfer, contingency plan, and etc. So this is example how you list all the risk and give the contingency plan. So what is the summary of the risk management? So risk is unexpected event, cause problem, therefore risk very important to be managed. And uh, preventive is the best word that I can say here when you manage the project, software project. So you need to do a preventive action. Example, before the project start, so you need to send all your staff to training. Yeah. Example, they are new with the computer language. For example, they use uh, a new language for mobile apps. Then you need to send them for training. Yeah. So risk type include external factor, cost factor, schedule, operational, and technology are among typical. So this is normally happen in managing the software projects. Okay, class. That's all for chapter 6. Thank you very much. And assalamualaikum.